The secret to petting zoos is herbivores. It doesn't matter how badly those kids want to pet that cuddly little displacer cub, it's going to get bitey. That's why my group tends to feed them to their blink puppies. Can you blame them? Look at that good boy, just waiting for his displacer beast num-nums. I don't care how cute you want to draw the displacer beasts, I will always be Team Blink Dog. That bit of wisdom leads us to today's topic, the Valley of Wolves, the future principality of Morlais. This slice of Glantri holds the largest population of wolves, dire wolves, and werewolves in all of Mystara. Led by a rather quirky member of the Aveyron family, it's a nice place to visit, but you wouldn't want to live there. At least not overnight. On second thought, maybe try a vacation in lovely sunny Crown Guard instead. I'm Mr. Welch, and remember...
There is no spoon.
The Valley of Wolves, aka La Vallée de Loup, aka the Barony du Morlais, is located in the northern section of New Aveyron. At least until it becomes its own principality shortly after the events of the war with Alphatia. Physically, it's located in the northern part of the Isole Valley, between the Mont des Ayres and Les Montagnes Noires mountains. Pardon my French, but as most locations are taken directly from the language, and my pronunciations tend to be influenced by the local dialects here. The valley sits 5,000 feet above sea level and features the Lac des Ayres fed by the River des Enfers. It has a mild climate in the summer and experiences heavy rain in the spring and fall. In the winter, expect extreme cold. Fog is constant year-round, but it's worse in the summer months. So not exactly a vacation spot. Technically, the valley is under the rule of the Vicomtesse Dame Diane. She's an adequate ruler, more content with her studies and projects than concerned with the day-to-day happenings. The person at the center of this entire video, of course, is Baron Malachi du Morlais, the White Wolf. He's an albino werewolf who wishes to create a safe haven for his fellow werewolf types. But his tiny little barony isn't big enough to accomplish that. For that reason, he needs to take Dame Diane's position. The issue is that titles in Glantri aren't hereditary. Wizards often move up in rank as more powerful ones die, so if the Vicomtesse gets torn apart by a pack of foul-tempered dire chihuahuas, someone else will just move in and become the new Vicomtesse. Malachi would have a chance to take her place, but there are more senior nobles with a better chance and bigger sponsors. In canon, he solves this problem through political marriage. Both of them are alchemists, and that's the only thing they have in common. They're a terrible match. When Malachi becomes the Prince of Morlais-Malembois, it puts an even greater strain on the relationship. She's a vain woman, but not to the point of neglecting her people. She is several decades older than him, which causes even more problems in their marriage. Malachi has little need for his wife outside her title, so he tends to ignore her and let her do what she wants, while he creates his werewolf utopia. The Baron prefers the company of his true love, Suzanne, who lives with him under the guise of his sister. You can already think of all the ways that this lie is going to go very wrong. Malachi is a rare, good-aligned werewolf, being chaotic good in nature. He was originally more chaotic neutral, but years of trying to find a home for his kin softened his views on people and society. Werewolves were illegal throughout Glantri since the beginning of the nation, though the fact that Nouvelle Aveyron sheltered a large number of them was no secret. Malachi wanted a place where they could walk openly without fear of being hunted. That motivated him to take control of the Valley of Wolves. He's best known because of his albino status. He even wears dark glasses in his human form to protect his eyes. He tries to keep the status as a werewolf secret, but it's one of the worst kept secrets in Glantri. Most princes are aware of his status, they just don't care. Some even appreciate that all the werewolves in their region moved to his. The current population of the valley is approximately 5,000 people. Despite its size, it's not a region friendly to habitation. Many wild animals, such as mountain goats, deer, and sheep, roam freely, but that also includes wolves of all types. Killing wolves is illegal in Morlais, and in some parts of the barony, fully half the population are werewolves. This is causing all sorts of problems that the Baron is struggling with. Food is a significant issue in the region, as farming isn't ideal high in the mountains. Werewolves aren't exactly known for their vegan lifestyle either, meaning Malachi has to keep restocking the wild game. Otherwise, the werewolves might start hunting more bipedal varieties of meat. His second issue is that by making it known that lycanthropes are welcome in his territory, the valley is experiencing a population boom as shifters from across the nation are flocking to the future principality. This also draws werewolf hunters to its borders in large numbers. Malachi is trying to remove the population that opposes the large number of lycanthropes immigrating to the region, but without violence. He actively encourages those with anti-werewolf sentiments to live elsewhere before there's an incident. The werewolf hunters are another matter, as they are there to cause said incident, and can't be removed short of violence. The prince is even hunted by his own personal nemesis, a hunter who has stalked him before they left France. If she succeeds in slaying him, the entire barony will erupt into anarchy, as he is the stabilizing force. His last problem is that werewolves are chaotic creatures, and most of them are evil to boot. He's inviting them into his barony by the score, and they're taking him up on his offer. Every full moon, you've got a domain filled with hungry lycanthropes, and most of them aren't friendly types. Malachi has his own personal retinue of werewolves he can trust to handle the more hostile variety of his kin. He's even got different levels of his personal guard to handle the tougher wolf boys that have settled in his valley. Since technically there isn't a region of Glantri with thousands of werewolves living in open defiance of parliamentary law, they have to practice a degree of discretion. Wild werewolves running rampant, slaughtering the common folk once a month, is something that just will not abide. The next 5 years, canonically, is one hell of a ride. Dumare does his best to keep the status quo while maneuvering for increased power, but a series of unexpected events both hamper and help him. First, due to a rise in disease or undead, depending on the timeline, the Parliament votes to allow foreign clerics to deal with the situation. Dumare votes against this as clerics can cure lycanthropy, reducing its power. Despite his objections, the measure passes and the clerics start working their way to the barony. Next, a large deposit of silver is found in Malenbois, increasing the entire region's status and wealth, as well as making it rather unhealthy for werewolves for obvious reasons. This is a huge threat, not just because of the increased threat the mineral poses to Dumare. It enhances the power and prestige of Dame Diane, meaning any favors Malachi tries to acquire from her has just become more expensive. 2 years later, gold is found in Les Montagnes Noires, which creates a massive migration to the region. This overtaxes the local resources, brings in a large amount of regular non-werewolf people, and deprives the Baron of a much-needed source of income to the miners that he wanted to hoard for himself. However, the increased population does provide an unexpected bonus after Dumare marries Dame Diane. In 1005, Parliament decides to elevate the entire region to a principality, and Malachi du Morlais is awarded the position with the help of his allies in Nouveau-Aveyron and several other regions. Now he has the opportunity to turn the area into a lycanthropic paradise, though he will have to wait until the ban on werewolves is lifted. When that finally is, that creates even more problems for the new prince. Because of the precarious balancing act that the werewolf population has in the valley, Dumare has given them a strict set of rules to prevent them from running wild and drawing the attention of the werewolf hunters or others hostile to their existence. This isn't always well received by the chaotic lycanthropes, but it is for their own good. The first law is loyalty to the pack. Anybody who harms a packmate is hunted down and killed, no exceptions. The second law prevents hunting in the villages. Even if done during a frenzy, you are expected to do your hunting in the wilderness. Breaking this law results in a fine, and refusal to pay results in banishment. Passing on the curse of lycanthropy to anyone outside your immediate family is forbidden and punishable by a fine. Keeping the number of werewolves balanced is important, lest they draw unwanted attention. Lastly, it is essential to retain control. Young werewolves will be given a mentor during full moons to help with their transformation. Those who refuse will be banished. The largest town in the valley is Lupont, with a population of just over 1,000 citizens. Of these, well more than half are werewolves. The non-werewolf population is very aware of this. There is no hiding the number of lycanthropes in such a small area. That being said, the population has learned to ignore the fact that most of their neighbors hulk out every full moon, as people who have a problem with them will be deported or worse, just disappear. The wolf law protects the regular people, and the more powerful werewolves protect the villagers from their younger kin during the time of change. Still, they are there because Dumare wills it, and he would have them removed if he wanted to. There is an uneasy peace in Lupont, but both sides have been willing to keep it so far. The town is typical of settlements in the area. Prices are higher because of the remoteness of the region. Expect to pay 50% more for everything except for food and lumber products. Obviously, there is no clerical magic, so things like disease and injury take their toll. If a neighbor seems to be a fast healer, no matter the wound, there's a good chance they're a werewolf. The town is very insular. Visitors can expect stares wherever they go. People aren't hostile, but they will know if you aren't one of them. They won't shun you. You can still buy food, goods, and similar, but don't expect anybody to engage you in conversation if you stop by the Taverne des Loups Sauvages for a pint. Visitors will quickly notice there are only humans in this village, not a single elf or more exotic race. Of course, there's no dwarves or halflings, and this is the one place you don't want to play a Lupin. There's a lot of other points of interest in the valley, including a lot of haunted locales. Mermaison Abandonnée is a haunted mansion found in the rolling foothills. Tour de Magibel is another supposedly abandoned tower, but locals swear they can see lights at night. Every attempt to enter the building has failed, and explorers have stopped trying to gain entry years ago. The Tour d'Atal is a home to a single astronomer found in the mountains, but he doesn't care for visitors unless they come for the stars. There is also the Tour de Salons, home to a reclusive mage who doesn't open his door to anyone, causing the locals to speculate wildly about what exactly is he researching there. The Valley of Wolves was made for a Night Howler campaign if it wasn't obvious enough. It has the majority of non-evil aligned werewolves and a fair chunk of the evil ones. It's not a place the characters will be familiar with. Everywhere they go, they will be treated as outsiders. The biggest thing to take away from this region is that the werewolves aren't the monsters here. They can be, but that's determined individually. Characters just can't start slaughtering lycanthropes as soon as they arrive, because that gets them dogpiled by the entire village. It's meant to be a mystery, one that the townsfolk will help as little as possible to aid in. Make sure in no uncertain terms that the party will get no help and will not be wanted once they cross into the valley. That's what makes it interesting. Next week we are headed to the start of a month of deep dives with the Draconic Cluster, 4 interlocked planes where the Immortals of Dragonkind abide. Until then, bow wow wow yippee-o yippee-yay.